No call.
Warning, Neo detected. Warning, Neo detected.
All right, let me start this again. Thank you, Rondi. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the 12 gauge hip hop Santa Claus. Um, I hope you guys are doing well on this Saturday. My name is 12 gauge, and you are 12 gauge investigative. Thank you for being here. Can you hear me now? I was muted for some reason. So I thought I'd get on today because last night I was speaking about this case with Dr. Vona and Nina for a while. And I thought I'd get on here and I'd share some more of it because I'm very interested in learning all I can about it because, I enjoy talking about different cases. And I know this isn't a new case and it's kind of been talked about by other creators, but I'm always intrigued in trying to find new cases to talk about. So I'm going to show this video, and this is something that I found about the neighbors and how they were describing some of what was going on, I guess, in that household. So it is from Plunder True Crime, and I want to send a shout out to Plunder. Um, and I'm going to play some of it and obviously give some commentary to it. So 12 Gate to Hip Hop Santa. Here we go.
She doesn't.
And she always walked with her
Never.
head
I didn't
down.
even know her name.
We didn't even know her name.
Or the
little girl we knew.
Mm-hmm. Well, we knew from seeing her and
because
saying
she
hi
always was
to
with
her.
her grandpa.
Yeah.
But not lately because the grandpa moved.
Gotcha. But then Sunday, you know what time it was on Sunday that you might have seen him? Was it dark outside or was it like still?
No, it was light. It was during the day.
The next door neighbors of Madeline Soto and her mother, Jennifer Soto, and her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, who was in and out of their lives. He was Jennifer's on-again, off-again bum of a boyfriend. He seemed like a drifter, is what the next door neighbor said. They had more insight. This older couple had more insight than a lot of the other neighbors. They had a lot more insight. This elderly couple had a lot more insight into the comings and goings of the Soto family than a lot of the neighbors. Cops in Kissimmee, Florida rang a lot of doorbells at this Venetian Bay Villages condos in Kissimmee, Florida on March 1st around 10:30 a.m. before Madeline Soto's body was even found. So I was going through all of the list of the evidence. Some of it has been released to us, not all of it, trying to categorize what we have, trying to see what's missing, what's there, what's not. The docket and I on YouTube, we've been trying to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what we have, what we don't have, what they will release, what they won't release. Well, I saw this audio. I said, please provide this audio. It's a voice recording, and I won't tell you their exact address, of course, but they are the next door neighbors of Jennifer Soto. It was uploaded to evidence.com by a Detective Fernandez. Since he found the voice recording important enough to upload to evidence.com, I wanted it, so they gave it to me. And I realized, okay, I believe we have heard this interview before, but I want to not give it short shrift. The way I've heard it covered, I believe in the past, from where I've heard it, is people thinking, oh, they're an elderly couple, they're confused, they probably got all their dates wrong, they're kind, but confused. So I think I had previously kind of poo-pooed this interview because we have so many audio recordings and so much body cam video.
I mean, Rondi, since you're the only one in the chat, I mean, look at this guy. And you know how many times people always say, well, they don't look like a serial killer, or that doesn't look like a serial killer. Would you be, I don't know if afraid is the word, would you be cautious around this person based on the facial structure, the eyes? You know, because when I'm looking at people across from me, usually during therapy, I would be looking at him and I could tell that there's something missing in those eyes. They don't shine like a lot of people's eyes do whenever they're comfortable, whenever they have that confidence level. You know, sometimes people's demeanor are very different. And she does look like her mom. That is an interesting take right there that we didn't talk about last night. Maddie does look like her mom, or she did look like her mom.
Footage, but I've given it a second and third and fourth and fifth listen. I want to listen to it again with you. It's only about 10 minutes long, this particular audio. And I realized this couple did have a great vantage point of the Soto family. They've been there for years. They're not just renters or Airbnb people who are there briefly. And they talk a lot about the comings and goings of Stephan Stearns, where Jennifer parked, watching Maddie grow up, watching her grandfather take care of her and teach her to ride a bike and all that stuff. So I will just call them Gerald and Barbara. And let's listen to it together.
Upstairs.
They have two renters upstairs.
Huh?
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. We saw the renter was here.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that one of them that just came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Well, we thought that was her.
So it starts off like a lot of these audios do, in the middle of a conversation. It sounds like the cop probably realizes, oh, this couple has something important to say. Let me turn on my phone or wherever he audio recorded this, maybe through his body cam's audio. And the couple's talking about, okay, Jennifer has two renters upstairs. And it's like they're peeking out the window and they're saying like, oh, there's one of them now.
And then there's another one upstairs that has a son.
Okay, well, we found one of them at least. She came over.
There's another one upstairs that she rents with her son. Her son's about,
Well,
I'd say 15 years old,
yeah,
right?
he'd be going to school because
Yeah.
she'd bring him in.
So they're telling the cops, and they do sound like they have a Canadian accent, the way I just heard her say, oh, Bolt. And I think they're going to talk about being from Canada later. And maybe this is just their Florida condo, their location where they winter. They're going to mention coming here December 28th. And that's when they get to see what was happening with Jennifer and Stephan. The important thing I'm thinking about elderly renters, elderly people, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, they don't know what's going on. But no, I think they very well could have a great testimony, be great eyewitnesses, because
I mean, she makes an interesting point there because, you know, there's a lot of people from Canada that come to Florida during December, January, February, during the winter month. They're called snowbirds. They go to the warmer climate and they're elderly usually, so they're able to be able to be renting properties, condos, things like that. And not all elderly people are senile, as people are suggesting that these two are.
Because other people, if they're coming to these condos with their family, I see some of these Venetian Bay condos on Airbnb. If someone's coming just to visit for a week, you're not really going to know who lives there. You're not really going to be necessarily paying close attention to Jennifer and Stephan and Maddie. You would be going off to Disney World or Epcot Center or all these different places. You wouldn't necessarily be sitting there. Oftentimes, elderly people spend a lot of time at home. I get it. I'm a homebody too. And just looking out and staring and seeing what's going on. And that's why I think their testimony and their eyewitness, what they've witnessed, is important. Now, they're talking about Jennifer's 2 roommates and the fact that one of Jennifer's roommates does have a teenage son.
She'd come in later in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But
And then Juan supposedly owns the place. He used to live there.
They talk about one of Jennifer's roommates coming home, I guess, picking up her son around 3 o'clock or so, maybe after school is over. And that's when they noticed she would come home. And then they even realized that Jennifer's dad, Juan Soto, does supposedly own this condo. And you do see his name all over a lot of things associated with this address.
That's the grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't live there now. He
converted
his daughter.
converted this van into a living quarters, and I guess he's traveling the country, so. But
See, we were here when they moved in.
So they have a lot of insight. They said something important there that got me to thinking. Juan owns the condo. He used to live there. He converted a van and he decided to travel across the country, I guess. I don't know if he drove to other countries, but that got me thinking, especially as they'll talk about watching Maddie grow up over the years, seeing Juan teach her how to ride a bicycle and all that. I thought, oh, maybe he was the type of grandpa who represented a protective figure. I'm not sure if that's true, but imagine if Maddie was close with her grandpa and for whatever reason, maybe he decided to, I want to become a van lifer. I own this $200,000 condo. That's one of the estimates of the value I saw that it's worth. It's increased in value. He's taking in rental income. Of course, maybe he doesn't want to live there with his daughter anymore. I don't know when Juan and Jennifer's mom, Yolanda, got divorced or broke up, what the situation was there. Jennifer did talk about living in that condo pretty much since Maddie was born, on and off. So Jennifer's lived there apparently a long time, and I'm sure Juan saw a lot of comings and goings. But with Juan there, did Maddie have a support system? You know how they say it takes a village. Did she have that protective male figure there? And after, this is no fault of his own, of course. I'm not saying it's Juan's fault, but if Juan decided to take off and live the van life or whatever he was doing, was that one more reason Maddie's protection left? And Jennifer was able to move in a guy like Stephan Stearns, and without another male figure.
I mean, that's an interesting theory right there. I mean, because Jennifer looks so much younger than Stephan in that picture right there. Just looking at Jennifer, I don't think she's very. I would say she's. I'm terrible with ages and looking at people and trying to gauge what their age is, but I would say she's about 39. But he looks older than that. So maybe, as we were talking about last night, maybe there was a grooming process going on. Maybe there was a love bombing going on. And the fact that the father moved out of the condo, it left a void of a male figure, just like Plunder's talking about, to protect them. And this guy comes along, and instantly she's okay with letting him move in.
Figure, protective male family figure around. We know Madeline's biological dad was off in Texas and in the military and with his wife. So that's one male figure not there. With Juan gone on his van life journey or whatever, did Stephan find it easy to move in as the male figure in this place and just do what he wanted?
I don't know how many years
But
that was.
so the last time you saw her was Saturday or Friday. Saturday.
the
The little girl.
Yeah.
It was either Friday
It
or
was on the
Saturday.
weekend.
Yeah, it was
Jen?
on the weekend.
Okay, what's her name?
See, Jennifer's a small-statured woman as well. She's not. It doesn't look like she's very tall. She looked kind of petite. I don't know. This situation just wild to me. This whole case, and I'm not trying to sound like one of those creators that is doing the fake anger, the fake angst. To me, it just on the psychological part of it, it seems like at this point she wasn't very upset about her daughter missing, and that bothers me.
This is the point where they get a little confused, and I'm glad they don't definitively say, yes, I know I saw her, but they were trying to figure out when was the last time this couple saw Maddie. Mind you, this interview has taken place Friday, March 1st in the morning. So they're saying, look, we just saw her either Saturday or Sunday. It's not that much time has elapsed from them not seeing Maddie. It's not like the cops went and talked to them a month later and they're like, oh, I have no idea. It's still pretty soon. The memory should be fresh in their mind. So they're saying, look, we just saw Maddie. It was either Saturday or Sunday.
Because she took the little dog out for a walk.
Okay.
We don't know exactly when,
But
we don't remember seeing her Monday.
This
And
Monday.
we were here waiting for our friends to come to go to the clubhouse.
Uh-huh.
Black shorts. Okay.
So they definitely don't remember seeing Maddie Monday at all. It's not like they.
Okay, let's take a comment from the chat. Initially, I thought she looked a lot like her mom until I saw her dad. She looks a lot like them both. Okay. Well, I've never seen her biological father, like Plunder was talking about. He's in Texas and he's in the military. I had no idea about that. But that's some interesting information, PKC. Very interesting. So right here, they're confused on the last time, kind of like the Haley Dunn case. The mom was unaware of the time frame when the last time she saw the daughter. The daughter was 13 years old, just like this one. And she was kind of taking up for the boyfriend as well. The boyfriend was in a home. It just so sad that you don't know where the hell your kids are. And I'm not trying to be that person, but in reality, how come you don't know? There's so many trackers on phones now. There's so many ways to keep track of people. Wouldn't you put those things on the most important people in your life? Because people vanish every day for whatever reason. And to go 24 hours, 48 hours, and not even realize that somebody's missing, it's kind of weird to me.
They're like, we saw her leaving, walking out, with that Stearns guy for him to take her to school. We didn't see her Monday. They did see her the previous weekend, Saturday or Sunday, whatever day that was, walking the little dog. So Maddie obviously took care of the little dog. Another reason, a billion reasons in my mind, of why Stearns didn't need to be there. Once again, Jennifer talked about Stearns coming up. She needed his help. Jennifer was starting this new job. She needed help with Maddie. She needed help with the dog. Again, Maddie was very capable of taking care of this one little dog and taking care of herself.
And I don't remember her seeing.
That's weird. I hate using that word. That's strange to me that you would need help with a 13-year-old child. Obviously, I'm just confused. What kind of help could you possibly need with a 13-year-old female child that a male could do that the mom couldn't do because she was working? You get what I'm saying? Like, what could he give that child that the mom might need to assist with? Is she going through female issues or all this other stuff? Stephan don't know what to do. What help? Other than being there in case what? What kind of emergency could she have possibly had? Y'all help me out with that. Hey, Aquarius. Y'all help me out with that because I don't know. It's not making sense in my brain, but as you've known, as you've heard with my last couple lives, I'm very analytical, but yet the factual parts, if the facts don't add up, then there must be something that is either not being spoke on or there's a lot of psychological stuff that could be looked into.
made her leave.
Gotcha.
So
And then but the day you did see her, was actually acting weird or anything like that, or was she just walking her dog and came back?
No,
no,
everything seemed quite normal.
Okay.
that's what upsets us, to think that things were going on over there and the
Oh, we
poor
understand. I'm
child.
sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
At least if the stuff on the TV's true, which you can't believe half of it anyways, but I thought, we didn't do nothing or anything, and
No.
but now there's the other lady.
So again, it's that survivor's guilt factor. I understand. This couple, Gerald and Barbara, I understand they're feeling guilty. They're like, it's unbelievable. All this was going on right next door to us. Again, they didn't know anything. They didn't see Maddie leave early that morning. They just saw her over the previous weekend. They didn't see her Monday. They're like flabbergasted to think by this time Stephan Stearns has been arrested that Wednesday evening. They know at this point he's been arrested for CSAM. And so they're like, whoa, all this was going on right under our noses. I'm sure they feel survivor's guilt, like, oh, heaven forbid, if we would have known what that little girl was going through right next door, I'm sure they would have done a lot of things differently. A lot of people would have, but fact is, they just didn't know. Many people didn't know.
She's just come.
Yeah, we were outside and we had to help her inside
Here's another one that just come.
It just came right now. Is that the mom?
Yeah, right here. This is the other renter.
Oh,
She's going in.
Well, you notice how Stephan's standing, right? And we learn in a lot of different classes, and there could be reasons for that. He could be cold. He could be, uncomfortable. But usually when somebody crosses their arms like that, it means that they're very closed off to whatever is going on around them. Or maybe he just confused, or who knows what he's thinking. But at this point, he's already killed her. He's already killed her. And to be standing there acting like he don't know what happened either, what kind of person is that? What kind of person is that? I could see the mom. I could see her position in this, but this guy had just killed Maddie hours earlier.
Son. That's the one that's got the son.
Yeah, but she hasn't got the
I
son.
mean, either way, she
Well, he's probably at school.
it's already open now, so it's they already
so-
did everything, so they're probably picking up their stuff.
That's the mother that's going with her.
Gotcha, but
Very much.
No problem.
So one thing we can tell from this audio, it sounds like they're opening their door and they're just being great nosy neighbors, peeking right out. And by this time, it sounds like the condo has been released back to the renters and whomever. They're seeing both renters. This is likely when people were moving out. I mean, at this point, Maddie's body hasn't even been found, but they have an idea. We believe the cops said Maddie lost her life in this condo. So I'm sure the roommates were freaking out like, I don't want to live here anymore. This happened right in the same condo where I live. And so all the people they're talking about coming in and out, both renters, maybe there she is with her son, or maybe that's Jennifer, but it sounds like they were moving things out. That's what the cop is saying. It's like they've opened this condo now. It's no longer, Jennifer and Stephan. Well, Stephan's in jail, thankfully, but Jennifer doesn't have to stay away from the condo anymore. She can come get her stuff. But it tells us what a great vantage point they have. You can tell they're just peeking out their door. You hear a door or something open. I don't know if it's the regular door, sliding glass door, if they have it open, but they can see very well what's happening.
when was the last time we saw the boyfriend? What was it, that Monday, or was it
No, we didn't see him Monday, but I did see him on the weekend. On that weekend, before the Monday that the little girl disappeared, he was there. I don't forget if it was Saturday or Sunday, because I walked out to go to my van and he was walking out in front of me, and he went to the white car. The white car.
the white car that the mom drives?
Yes.
You know what kind of car it was?
It's a Ford. I don't know if it's a Nissan or something
White,
like that.
that's all we know.
Yeah, that's why we didn't really pay attention to it.
But that was Saturday?
That was either Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday.
I don't think so.
It should be. If the Wi-Fi's turned on, it'll try.
So Gerald is pretty clear. He did see Stephan Stearns either Saturday or Sunday. This is prior to the Monday, February 26th, where Maddie was reported missing. What's really interesting to me is the cop will ask him several times, and later we're going to hear it was daylight. So whether he saw Stephan Saturday or Sunday, we know for a fact Stephan is lying about coming to the condo. There's something about this coming to the condo. Something happened that Saturday where Stephan was freaking out, asking his parents for anxiety medication, according to his dad, Chris Stearns. And then Stephan comes up on Sunday. There's something about this timing that Jennifer and Stephan keep dodging. They keep dodging, oh, when did he get here? Was it Saturday or Sunday? I don't know. Stephan says he arrived Sunday evening. You know, he keeps saying he came up there Sunday evening, basically after the party was over. Now, we know we've seen that video of Maddie just walking off into the sunset, and we know she's still at her grandma's house as the sun is setting. So by the time she gets home, I believe it's around 8:30 or what have you, it's going to be dark. If you listen to Gerald and Barbara, they will insist it was during the day. Now, they're not clear whether they saw Stephan that Saturday or that Sunday, February 25th. They saw him walking out to the white car, the white Nissan. They know it's Jennifer's car. Gerald called it a Nissan. Gerald even knows that Jennifer has a handicap sticker because he has one, and sometimes they park either or of the handicap parking spaces. So Gerald knows what's up. The part that gets me is when they'll talk about it was daytime, when they saw Stephan walking out to get in Jennifer's white.
I don't know if it's due to, growing up a certain way or having, life experiences on my part, but I'm very hyper vigilant about the days, the times, and the vehicles and the people around me. I might not notice down to very specifics, but I can tell you, well, they were wearing a brown coat, work boots, blue eyes, scruffy looking, brown hair, had a hat on backwards, whatever. Driving a black Suburban. I could be that specific because I'm very mindful of everything around me. And the days I could understand how people could get their days mixed up. I got that. But just the PSA, excuse me, just the PSA, I always tell you guys on the channel, or I suggest that you're hyper vigilant to be aware of your surroundings, because you just never know what you might witness could save somebody's life, or you could be the evidence breaker in a case or whatever. You might could see something that somebody else didn't see, or you were able to get a license plate, or you were able to get a description of a vehicle or the person or anything like that. I mean, I'm not saying live in fear. I'm just saying, maybe you could be a more hyper vigilant so that, some of these things might not occur as frequent. Because most people are like that. They're very about their own business. They're very in their head, stuff like that.
Nissan. Walking to it, I don't know if he was driving it or if Stephan was getting something out of it. Jennifer makes it seem like Stephan rarely drove her car, or she didn't want him driving her car for whatever reasons. He's not on the insurance. But let them tell it, he's walking to the white car as if it's something he's maybe used to driving. And they're going to talk about his attitude not being great, Jennifer's attitude not being great, and everything.
And they're not the friend, like,
we never got to talk.
The grandpa was.
Yeah, we
friendly.
met the grandfather and we kind of conversed with him. In fact, he came in here one day and he helped us with, I think it was the washing machine we had a problem with. And he came in and helped us with that. But
she doesn't say nothing.
No, she doesn't.
And she always walked with her.
Never. I didn't even know her name.
We didn't even know her name.
Or the
little girl we knew.
Mhm.
Well, we knew from seeing her and
because she
saying hi
always was
to
with
her.
her grandpa,
Yeah.
but not lately because the grandpa moved. We don't know too much.
So that part is telling too. Even in a few words, the more I listen, the more I pick up. Now they're kind of talking over each other like a cute older couple would do. But you get a
Do they look like they're very interested in the disappearance of her daughter or his supposedly stepdaughter? I've seen I've seen press conferences of the day of missing people, and they are sobbing and crying. I can get where you're trying to keep it all together, to be calm enough to get a police information. Not everybody deals with emotions the same way. I get it. But to me, it just seems so matter of factly like, oh, my daughter's missing. I don't know. I don't know. No big deal. I don't know the time. I'm confused on the date. When was the last time, honey? Did you see her? Well, I don't know, baby. Blah blah blah. Those are some very interesting statements because I just ask you guys, would you be able to answer these questions to try to get your missing child back? Or would you just be kind of like she's doing or he's doing? He's acting just like I don't have a clue what's going on. He's really not talking.
lot of insight. They're trying to compare and contrast Jennifer and Stephan to Juan. Juan sounded friendlier, like, I don't know, an open person. He helped them with their washing machine. So he doesn't own that side of the condo. So he was helping not his tenants, as I understand it. He was just helping this other couple with their washing machine just to help them. And if you notice, they say, oh, basically they watch Maddie kind of grow up. They watch Maddie over the years. Not that they knew her personally necessarily, but she was always with her grandfather. I'm like, wow. Now, what if her grandfather was the protective type and she likes to hang out with her grandpa? Maybe Juan was a lot kinder to her than Jennifer, and maybe Jennifer, of course, took advantage of all the free babysitting. Go hang out with grandpa. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just projecting because I have no idea what that relationship was like. Hopefully it was kind and loving and respectful. But then when Juan dressed up his van and moved away, I'm sure that was a loss that Maddie felt. Like in grief recovery, we learn every change in a pattern of behavior can be recognized as a loss, even if it's a good thing. Maybe it was a good thing for Juan to go travel the world or become a van lifer. But it's interesting the way they said, basically, Jennifer and Stephan, they weren't the friendly type. She always walked with her head down. And it sounds like Stephan wasn't like just the friendly type. You just like to be friendly to your neighbors if you live right next door to them, especially. I have the best neighbors. Oh my goodness, they give me zucchini bread. They grow fresh vegetables. When I moved here, my other neighbor brought me a plant. I'm always popping across the street, talking to my elderly neighbor, walking the dogs. You just get to know people you live around. But it sounds like Jennifer and Stephan were the type of, leave me alone, nothing to see here. I don't want to talk to you. So we learn a lot about the condition of Stephan and Jennifer and their parenting and Maddie's loss and not having a grandfather to hang out with all the time.
Gotcha. But then Sunday, you know what time it was on Sunday that you might have seen him? Was it dark outside or was it like still?
No, it was light. It was during the day.
We don't even know if it could have been Saturday or Sunday. We're not here all the time.
I got you.
And it's just when we're sitting here, you can't help it.
Now, that's the part that was crucial to me, where I was like, wait a minute, he was sure it was during the day. Now, he wasn't sure. Gerald was not sure if he saw Stephan that Saturday or that Sunday, but he was sure it was during the day. So whatever day it was, it just lets me know that Jennifer and Stephan were lying about what time Stephan arrived in Kissimmee. There's so much confusion over that. Whereas, like for me, if I'm confused about when I arrive somewhere, if you have something, you can just look in your Google travel history or whatever. That's why the detective Tagler wanted to see it on Stephan's phone and so much stuff was wiped. But you can easily see, oh, okay, I arrived here then. I can see where I've been. But Jennifer and Stephan were so confused and just could not remember what day he arrived and what time. So much so that it was.
I mean, do you see how, sometimes the parents get painted in a bad light because of the inconsistencies that they portray or don't give up the information to the police that would be helpful to find our child. And I mean, I get that. But at the same time, are they mentally able to assimilate this crisis that quickly? Because you and I know that if you're on medication for anxiety, for depression, for mood stabilizers, bipolar, whatever it might be, it slows down your thought process because that is part of the reason you're taking the medication. It to slow it down. So is this giving them an out to really use the medication or their mental mental issues as a way out of not being accountable? Y'all tell me what you think. Rondi says, I think it's bullshit. Thank you, Rondi.
Something Jennifer brought up again in her immunity interview, that derivative immunity interview from April 18th. She had to backtrack and she had to come clean from when she contradicted herself. Previously, she was so adamant about, okay, Maddie arrived home. My sister dropped Maddie off at around 8:30 p.m. that Sunday night after her birthday party, Sunday, February 25th. And then Jennifer said, Stephan arrived like 10 minutes later. So she was pretty clear on her timeline at that point. But then later in the derivative immunity interview, she admits, I don't know what time Stephan arrived. So what's the big deal about when he arrived? Something went down that Saturday and Sunday. Was Stephan in Kissimmee Saturday before dark? Was Stephan in Kissimmee Sunday before dark? Was he in the condo waiting for Maddie? Was he waiting for her somewhere else? Was he doing something? I know there's something about that Saturday and Sunday about Stephan's arrival in Kissimmee that is crucial. And maybe that plays into the premeditation because there's so many lies and confusion coming from Jennifer and Stephan's side about when he arrived. It's become a critical sticking point, which I hope we get more evidence to clear it up.
But see, because your window looks out there, mm-hmm. That's all. I wish we could help more, but
you didn't see him like take anything into the car on Saturday or Sunday?
Nope, I didn't see anything going out to the car.
And what times do you guys usually wake up?
Around
8 o'clock. We're usually up around 8 o'clock because we go down for coffee at 9 o'clock at the clubhouse. Except for Sunday. Sunday is closed.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if we'd have known about it before, we'd have probably paid more attention. But we didn't know what was going on.
She don't buy
just from sitting here that you see him
medication.
passing by, it's not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or taking the dog out. Usually we see him taking the dog out. So.
Oh yeah, we see him take the dog out because they come and pee on our grass.
So that's cute. They complain about the dog peeing on their grass. Stephan or Jenn or Maddie, we don't know who they're specifically talking about. We see them take the dog out because the dog pees on our grass. But what's crucial at that point is that Gerald and Barbara are saying, look, we get up around 8 o'clock and we go to the clubhouse around 9 o'clock for coffee, except on Sundays when it's closed. But they didn't see anything. See, because maybe Stephan even knew their routine and he had to beat daylight. He had to beat sunrise that Monday morning. That's why he left so early with Maddie. If he sneaked her body out somehow right into the car, I'm sure he did it under the cloak of darkness still before the sun rose, because Gerald and Barbara, they can see pretty easily. They're saying, we can see, we just see them moving about and we get up around 8 a.m. So Stephan, that's why it was like, oh, he dropped her off at school or near the school so early because he had to beat daylight. He had to get out there and get Maddie in that car. Gerald and Barbara didn't see anything because I believe all of this happened well before 8 a.m.
But, I mean, there's nothing suspicious that you saw throughout those days, that weekend.
No, nothing suspicious at all.
You didn't see him Monday at all throughout the day, the entire day?
No.
Monday, no.
Was the car gone all day? Or do you remember the white car?
I don't remember. I know Tuesday when I came home it was gone because you had somebody out there sitting in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was strange. I didn't know it was police. I just thought, well, this is
Usually,
strange.
yeah,
Your
usually
car's not here.
Usually the white car parks in either the handicap spots. Like I park in one and she would park in the other. Sometimes it'd be reversed.
So what I'm getting from this is that Madeline went missing on that Monday. The last time that anyone particularly saw Stephan was Sunday during the day. Her dad's name is Tyler Wallace. If you want to see his picture, I think Yahoo has an interview with him. Wonder what he's thinking about this time. He's probably thinking about a lie, or I'm anxious to be exonerated. Did you arrest anyone else? That's the famous line of the year. Um, to me, it makes no sense how this crime went down because of the fact that if he went to take her to school, would there have been cameras that captured the vehicle going by? Would they have been able to see in the vehicle? Wouldn't people have saw Madeline in the vehicle? And you're all right. Dead man walking.
So
Most of the time she parked
yeah,
the other one. Yeah.
yeah,
But I wish we could help and but
yeah. It's too bad.
we feel so
I
bad.
hope that they find this little girl and
That's right.
alive. Anyways, gee.
And so that's how we know, again, this interview took place before Maddie's body was recovered and found, because Gerald is saying, I hope they find this little girl. He's talking about the positions of where Jennifer parks. Either she parks in one handicapped spot or he parks in the other. So he's aware of that white car, Gerald is. They just feel bad because they haven't seen anything. They didn't see Stephan all day Monday. Maybe they were paying attention to the white car on Monday. We know Stephan was driving initially a different vehicle Monday during the day, where he was hiding Maddie's body in the trunk or even having Maddie right next to him in the seat, and all that taking place during a time when I guess Gerald and Barbara just weren't awake yet. But then when Stephan came back to the condos, claiming he forgot his clicker, we know at a certain point during that morning, Stephan transitioned Maddie's body from the.
But you can't really force people to have a memory that they don't have. I mean, these poor neighbors, like they said, they didn't see anything. They didn't notice anything suspicious. I mean, I can live with that. They probably go about their daily business on a routine basis. When you're older, you forget a lot of things. You're just focused on your here and now, what you're trying to get to the next area of your life. You're not trying to think about a lot of other things, because that's when you get distracted. You lose your keys, you lose your cell phone, you lose all kinds of stuff. And I can dig that, that they really didn't see much. I don't know why they were focused so much on them, but I can see their point.
Passenger seat into the trunk. We know when he was driving around at a certain point where it's daylight, he couldn't get away with just Maddie slumped over in the seat beside him. I mean, he already took so many risks. Thank God he got caught. But driving her back to the condo and just parking her in the parking lot, that wouldn't have worked. So no wonder, unfortunately, he hit her in the trunk. But Gerald and Barbara may not have been paying attention to the car that Stephan was driving. Maybe they just were only paying attention to the white car at that point. And then Tuesday rolls around, Barbara and Gerald start noticing more police activity, and I'm sure that's when things really get amped up.
I mean, anything helps. We're just trying to investigate, trying to make sure everything's fine. But do you guys want to fill out a statement or anything like that?
What?
Like fill out a statement?
Well, we had a oral deposition the other day with a lady
Well,
policeman.
we told her, we said, we can't specifically remember dates because we don't remember.
Well, that's all I'm going to share about the neighbors. I'm going to do some some more covering of this case because it's interesting to me at this point, and I want to continue to be well versed on it and not just be one of those that is just speaking from the hip. I wanted to show you that neighbors interview because we talked about it last night. Maybe I'll do another live later, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't do one till next week. We'll see. But please have your notifications on just in case. Whenever I do sign on, you can get that notification and come right to the channel and enjoy the quality content that I present. I hope I hope that you guys enjoy what goes on here at the channel because it's not easy to be someone who presents this stuff to you as much as I do and some of the other creators. It's not easy. But I enjoy doing it because without you, there is no me. And I asked you one time, can you dig it? Can you dig it? If you can't dig it, get yourself a bigger shovel. Maestro, cue that music.